Hi there, my name is Alexander and this is my iPhone 13 Pro Max. And in this video I will tell you about my experience of using this smartphone, which by the way I bought on the start of sellings. I've been using every iPhone from 4S. By the way, right from which iPhone you start using Apple smartphones. So let's start from the case. I always try to use smartphones with covers and protective glass. This thing is not cheap and let it be better preserved. In addition, I travel a lot around the world and my smartphone is always in aggressive environment, sand, rocks and more. Because I use it not only as a phone, but also as a navigation and my main camera sometimes. I almost always use original leather case from Apple, and under the case smartphone is like new, no scratches at all, and I am happy with that. I always try to choose a new color that the company presents. Apart from gold, I don't like any golden colors. In the last 2 years the iPhone 11 Pro and 12 Pro have been very cool. Green is my favorite and blue has been deep and rich. And here, well, to be honest, I'm not designer. One of my friends is designer and he said that it is a complex color. It's not usual and it's not simple. And because of his designer, he likes this color. I'm not designer, I think this is bullshit. Why did I bought it? Because at the presentation it was really nice blue, but in the life it is dirty. I already forgot it, but now I feel myself like an idiot, because Apple showed the iPhone 13 Pro in my favorite green color. No, now it's not time to change smartphone because of color, but Apple. Okay, let's talk about camera. For me, it's the most important part of any smartphone. I'm ready to put up with a lot, but won't take a bad camera. So let's start with it. I started using iPhone through the camera. Before that, I only used Android. It's because iPhone 4S had the best camera at that time, and I really like taking pictures. Here is some photos I took on the iPhone 4S. And these are photos taken on iPhone 13 Pro Max. Yes, I travel a lot and never take a camera with me, because smartphone is always with me and it is much more convenient for me. I'm glad that the iPhone Pro has an ultra-wide lens, a normal wide and telephoto lens, and each become better than previous ones, especially in ultra-wide photos and telephoto camera. As for me, camera with optical zoom is the most important camera in any smartphone. In iPhone 13 Pro Max, optical zoom was not 2.5x but 3x, and thanks to this lens I can take these photos. But you should always make sure that smartphone does not switch to the main camera due to lack of light, because in this situation you will have not optical zoom but only a soft zoom, which will spoil the quality of the photo. Here is an example. This photo was taken with optical zoom and this with digital, and there is a big difference in detail. But you can use another camera application like Highlight, and in these applications you can use optical zoom all the time, even at the night. But even when you use the native camera app, this smartphone will not switch to digital zoom every time. I was using it even in low light situation and it was really good. The ultra-wide lens has autofocus and thanks to it you can take really good photos. In the iPhone 12 Pro Max I did not use it at all, but now I always turn it on when the situation requires it. The detail even in dark areas are impressive. Well, the main model in iPhones has long been cool, so now I can say that this is one of the best options for photos. From other competitors I can choose the new Samsung S22 line. We will talk about them in other videos. But to be honest, I would choose an iPhone for me personal, and not least because of the video. Also my work involves a lot of video, so I need a smartphone that can always replace the camera if it has a low battery or if I just forgot it. I'm not kidding. kidding. A few months ago I came to shoot some kind of production for a manufacturer of rolling shutters. But I took with me a wrong backpack with no camera on it. It was an awful situation, it was the first time for me, but the customer was not around and I shot everything on this iPhone. Because it has a really good camera, and after this I make production and nobody seen anything wrong. And now I just shoot a lot on my smartphone. Sometimes I use it as my main camera. Yes, the front camera here is much worse than those installed in Samsung. There is no even autofocus. However, I just flip the smartphone and shoot myself on the main camera. Yes, you can see yourself, but you are watching at the camera, not on the screen. It is good. And here the quality is very good with bokeh. The sound is also good. The only thing is that if there is a wind on the street, you have to hide. Yes, I shoot a lot of video for myself, for my video blog, even for production, and I don't use any kind of microphones, of tripods or steady pods, something like this. I just use my iPhone and my hands. Stabilization is really great. The main problem from the camera is hiding not on the camera. The problem is to send files from smartphone to your computer. Because I can use LumaFusion for editing video on my smartphone, but when I shoot a lot of video, I use my Final Cut. So when I shoot videos on the iPhone all day, in the evening it's always difficult and long to transfer this 50 or 100 gigabyte. You can use AirDrop, but it is important that the display should always be active, and you even cannot use iPhone for an hour or 2 hours or 3. And I'm even not telling about ProRes file format that introduced with this iPhone. It's really terrible. Or you can use USB cable with version 2.0. It's really slow. So now I'm waiting for new iPhone 14 with USB 3. I even shot a few videos in cinematic mode, even in the studio. And if you do not look closely, it is not even noticeable. Why I need to use it? I'm sure that now there will be more demand for speed and ease of use than for quality. Yes, professional camera will make bokeh better and it will shoot on 4K. But this already amazed me, and this is just beginning. Maybe in the next iPhone we will see cinematic mode working in 4K. By the way, I took a few reviews right on the bike trip using an iPhone with cinematic mode, and it was cool. By the way, I know one guy, he also shot a lot of video, and during this war he was left without a studio and equipment, and he is shooting only on his iPhone. So in my experience, the camera really allows you to do a lot. Let's talk about display. For most, it is the most important thing in any smartphone, because you look at it constantly. And for me it is important also, because I edit photos and even video on my smartphone. Screens in iPhone in terms of picture quality have always been cool, but now there is also frequency of 120 Hz. Many people said that it was not very noticeable, because iOS has such an animation that it was still nice. But when I take my wife's or children's smartphones, I immediately see how big the difference is in the smartphones of the animations. iPhones have always been a model of power, because of Apple has their own processors. Even the revolutionary M1 chips did not appear just like that, because they were on smartphones and iPads. Why do I mention M1 chips? Because it was really a revolution. The cheapest Apple's MacBook is ahead of the top computers on the x86 in some even difficult tasks. For example, when you editing 3 4K videos at the time. And it would seem in the top iPhones everything was great before. But it would seem in the top iPhones everything was great before. Now it should be even better, but no. A few months after the start of sales, the iPhone 13 Pro Max underestimated the brightness of the screen in games and even in navigation. I have demonstrated this many times. Likely now, after 6 months and a few major updates, everything has been fixed. And now, even when you're playing in World of Tanks Blitz or Genshin Impact, display do not fade even in half an hour of play. So now I can say there are no problem with the power. I also edit video directly on smartphone when necessary in the LumaFusion, and iPhone easily pulls 4K 60. Why it is important for me? I really like to play in games on my smartphone. The games I've always installed is Low Wild Drift, World of Tanks Blitz, Dead Cells, and the recently installed Everdale, the new game from Supercell. It is very relaxing. In our state, it is that we need now. The battery life was the strong part of any iPhone, starting from 11 Pro. No, from 11 Pro Max. 13 Pro Max is now almost the best smartphone if we're talking about battery. And again, this is important for both video and cycling navigation. In my car I have CarPlay, so there is my phone is constantly charged. A few words about file system, because before iPhone I was using Android phones and I really like file system in Android phones. But now the files are integrated into iOS everywhere. Even third-party developers have access to them. Now I can download any type of files via Safari or email client and save it and work with it in the iPhone file system. So the main problem with that is still USB 2, because when you need to transfer some files, some big files from camera, for example, you cannot do it fast. Okay, it was one of the first my videos on English and on this channel too, and I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please support our channel, please subscribe to this channel, write any comment and put one like to this video. And after some time, I'm sure I will speak English really better. Thank you, bye.